Welcome back on Untitled. Today I want to propose you a video about the review about the fax released by the Games Workshop in July 2021 about the Battletome, the Flesh Eater Courts, because has been released the new edition, the Age of Sigmar 3.0 Dominio, so has been made a complete update of the fax. So this is a new group of facts that goes to substitute all the previous ones. So now we can go to see these new facts that will be the base for the next eventually upgrades of the facts themselves. So this is the base, and the next list about the facts will see an update, so that I'll not see the old ones that has been again posted, but only the new ones from the next about these facts. So now we can begin to see these facts. The first fact that we see it's asking about the master ability of the courtier keyword models, and it say that we have to roll separately for each courtier, and it's obvious because each one has a different role and can target different units eventually. And remember that you have to choose the courtier step by step, then roll the dice, resolve the results, and then move to the other courtier. So it was again simple about this, but if it could cause some misunderstanding, it's better that it's said simply it as should be. The next one it's about if the zombie dragons, royal ones, was intentional to not be able to be healed, and it say yes, but remember that you have anyway the chalice of USHORAN eventually that can heal the zombie dragons eventually, so remember that eventually you have an option. The next one asks about if any number of Abhorrent Archregent and Abhorrent Ghoul King can use the rule of all he survey scenario for a single charnel throne in the same turn, and they say yes. So it means that if you have more of such characters, you are able to make use of the same ability in the same turn on the same channel throne. Eventually it can be quite interesting because it means claim to you a lot of models that arrive to support you, so it can be quite nice. The next one it's about a model that has a Grand Court different than the one that you have created your rooster about. So it says that you can include that one in an army, but it can't add another Grand Court to the one that it has yet on its war scroll. So it means that, and they specified, it can be put in the list, in the rooster, but remember that you can't use the LNG's abilities of that Grand Court. It counts only the one that you are going to use as the main one and you put on your army, so pay attention. The next one it's about the feed difference, but it's simply a rephrasing of the same sentence, so not change at all about this work, so it's still the same. This next fact it's quite important. It's about the artifact of the courtier heroes, Medal of Madness, that has been changed, and now once per battle round, so remember about this, the bearer can use at the double for war to victory or inspiring present command from the core rules as if it were the Jan and without a command point being spent. It's quite important because it allows you to use such important command abilities and at the same time not use command point. So really it's a one must to choose artifact if you're going to use some courtier in your army. Instead here I treat two facts at the same time because they are the same, because it's about the spell laws, Lore of Madness. So it makes you delete the sentence under the spell laws, replacing it with the Flesh Eater Courts wizard, including the unique units only. So it's a simple change, and really it's quite simple because even unique units would have Flesh Eater Courts and wizard as keyword, so it should not be important. Anyway, this it's a quite good fact to remember. Okay, double one, but still it's the same. About the Channel Throne has been deleted the rules about it because has been replaced the rules call about it, but we'll see better about it at the end of this video itself. The next one is about Savage Strike, that it's the command trait of the Griskull Grand Court, and it's a great change because now it gives the strike first effect to this genre and their mount if they have charged in the same turn, and it's completely different from before. Before it was much better, but now you can eventually make multiple combat using the abilities of the Griskull Grand Court itself, so it can be quite awesome in some way. Now we have a fact about the Path to Glory because has been completely updated the Path to Glory, so if you want to use this one you have to use the old rules about Path to Glory because these ones are incompatible with the new rules about Path to Glory itself. And then we have a fact about the Vorskol Battalion Royal Family that again has been clarified. It was also before like this. Anyway, now it's specified that you can choose one abhorrent Archregent or one abhorrent Cold King on Royal Terrorguest or one abhorrent Cold King on Royal Zombie Dragon. And the other option that you have to select is 2 to 6 abhorrent Gold King that doesn't have mount. So it specifies again this distinction about those ones. Still it was understandable also before. Anyway, now it's completely clarified. I hope that it's not anymore again rewritten such one. The only problem about this is that I want to remember you about the General Handbook 2021. For the first season available now, the Vorskol battalions are not allowed. Still, it's about playing in those rules. But you can anyway select the Vorskol battalion for your ones. You have to choose what you want to do, simply it. And this fact is to say that has been changed the endless spells and the terrain feature specific for the Flesh Eater Courts. And now you go to see those ones. The first of the endless spells that's been changed is CADAVEROUS Barricade, that changed in a lot of different ways. In fact, now we had the summon the CADAVEROUS Barricade. It's always on a5+ on a 24-inch from the, in this case, Flesh Eater Courts Wizard instead of Abhorrent. Anyway, the Abhorrents are the only Flesh Eater Courts Wizard available, but here it's quite interesting because there are a lot of different ways to make that you can have a wizard in your army, so it can be also a not abhorrent one that can cast eventually this and the spells, so it can become quite interesting in such a way. So remember that has been done such great change. Moreover, it isn't said that also Nagash is available to cast this one, but it's Nagash, so eventually it knows it and nothing else. Moreover, has been declared this as a terrain feature, so that the Grimsley obstacle rule that it was previously put, it's not anymore valuable because it's being declared this spell a terrain feature, so it means that it follows the rules for the terrain feature, and that rules that was in the Grimsley obstacle now it is not anymore valid because it is in the rules about the terrain feature themselves. Moreover, it remained the main ability about this terrain feature, and it's that it's grasping hands that make that if a model starts a move within 3 inches of this terrain feature, halve the distance of that model unless this model is a death model 1. So only the death model, so the Flesh Eater Courts that has the death rules, for example, so these have the opportunity to move without any problems. All the other models have to move half, so it can become quite interesting. Moreover, because you have to remember that a unit can't move more than the slower model, so eventually you can move the other models that are more than 3 inches from it, but you have to maintain the coherency. So anyway, it can be quite useful, and you can use it as a repositioned terrain feature, so it can be quite nice, quite amazing and the spells. And then we have the Chalice of USHORAN. That's still it's a quite amazing one, and the final effect that it's the Soul Stealer, it's not changed, so it's still valid. What has changed, it's again the referral about the Abhorrent as the only ones that are able to cast these as endless spells. Instead are now available all the Flesh Eater Courts wizard. So this it's an important change about the availability of the spell itself, but the spell is still the same, so it's still able to make that the losses that you have while they are within 12 inch of these and the spells on a 5 plus, you can make that you can heal. Remember, heal a model with multiple wound that it's within wholly within the 12 inch of this and the spells, or make the return for units that have only one wound that are in the wholly within 12 inch of such spell. Again, only one wound, so only the gold, the crypt goals are available for now about gaining such ability eventually. And anyway, you have to roll a 4 plus for each of such slain model eventually. So anyway, it can be quite nice. And then we had the last of the endless spells, that it's CORPSEMARE Stampede. Here has been changed again in the way that it can be casted by the Flesh Eater Courts Wizard instead of only by Abhorrents, so it's quite important about this one. And has changed also another thing, it's that the predatory way, it's till the 12 inch that can be moved instead of 14 that was before, and obviously it can still fly. Another thing that has been changed, it's that it has lost the ability Crazed Gallop, so now it can't be moved right after it has been set up. So remember that has been quite a great change about this. Then we have the ability that it's trampled underfoot, that it's still the same. So after this and the spells has moved, roll 5 dice for each unit that has any models passed across, and for each roll that is more than the unit's wound characteristic, that unit suffer 1 mortal wound. For each 6, that unit instead suffer 1 mortal wound regardless of its wound characteristic. So the basic of the spell is still the same, but change it's the way that you can manipulate it eventually. So anyway, it's quite a good one and aesthetically amazing. And then we have the channel drone that has been changed in a minor way, because has been changed declaring that it's a faction terrain feature, so it follows all the rules about the terrain features themselves, and about the setup that now has not a limit about where to position within your deployment zone. So remember that you can make that you can put it in your territory, but has to be wholly within your territory and more than 3 inch from all the objective and all the terrain feature. So it's a limitation that it's quite important about this one. Now it has the rule about being defensible, so it's treated about something that can be garrisoned, and it can be garrisoned by one hero with a wound characteristic of 8 or less. Then the rules about the Gaulish landmark is still the same, because it lets you add 1 to the bravery characteristic of the Flesh Eater Courts units that are wholly within 1 inch of the channel drone, and subtract 1 from the bravery characteristic of other units that are within 1 inch of the channel drones themselves. And also about the ruler of all his surveys, that it's related about the Abhorrent King ability, it's the same, so that if you use such command ability while you are within 1 inch of such terrain feature, you are able to do it without consuming any command point. So it can be quite useful, because you have not a lot of command points available, and being able to use an ability without paying any about command points, it's quite useful, so quite nice again. So from Dino Mode, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video, or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again. To the next time.